It is January 1st, 2019. Happy New Year, everybody. And I think by law, we're all required to make predictions and New Year resolutions we're all going to break. But I am going to do some predictions. Well, really, I probably it would be silly to make predictions about Tesla. Uh, but I'm going to go over some expectations. And I think this year we can sort of figure out what's going to happen a little bit better with Tesla because they're a bigger brand now, and there's less wiggle room for outrageous tweets or secret announcements. I think this year is going to be relatively predictable, if you will, even for Tesla brand. So let me tell you what I think is going to happen this year. Of course, I'm looking forward to your predictions as well. Let's get it going right now. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric. Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news going in 2019. If this is your first time here, well, what took you so long? Joel, go ahead and click on the subscribe button just like everybody else so you don't miss anything. Moving forward, this is going to be a very exciting year. Definitely going to be an exciting year for Tesla. So let's talk about everything that I think is going to happen, what's already planned, what it's looking like right now. It's definitely going to be a huge year for them. It's really for them to screw it up, though. Knowing Elon Musk, it is a possibility. I think the stock would have been like $500 or $600 by now if it wasn't all of the you know, stuff that he did last year. But anyway, well, first of all, let's start with the Model 3. Obviously, this is they had a breakout year in 2018. Finally, the production is up to 7,000. They've been selling it. I gotta tell you, they surprised me. They've been selling this really high-end Model 3s with no problems. It looks like they met all of their goals, or at least beated expectations for sure. I expected they get this ramped up to about 10,000 cars per month. And with the Shanghai factory, I think that might even suppress it, but I think that's going to be more in 2020. It will be. I'm curious to see, and there's another video, obviously, about what's going to happen now that the U.S. tax credit has been cut in half, and then will be cut in half again going into the second part of 2019. But now they're selling it in China and Europe, so that should keep them strong. And of course, all eyes on the 35,000 version has been promised us, I don't know, years ago. If they can get it and done, and if so, how it's going to do, I think it's going to do amazingly, even without tax credits. So that's what I think it's just about making the $10,000 mark, making the $35,000 car, and I think they should be able to get it by at least the end of the summer for sure. That would be my prediction. Now, Model S and Model X, we don't know. There hasn't been that many changes there, right, for a while, and they don't really announce them. The biggest change, what they're saying is, looks like it's going to be the interior refresh. The pictures that we all seen, it looks like they were going to go with this minimalistic interior that they had in Model 3, with the horizontal big screen kind of attached to the dashboard just like that. I think it's a mistake. I think people do want, and they will have to compete in terms of luxury with other brands like Audi and Mercedes that a lot of people like myself will leave Tesla for, simply because of the luxury and better build. So I hope that they rethink that, but who knows? They might just go with a Model 3 concept of the design and have it very simple. The other thing, I have a problem with a large screen that's bigger than Model 3, and it's also looks like it's going to be horizontal. It's too far to the right to reach, to be sort of productive and not even dangerous in some cases. I'd rather have them work on the heads-up display that a lot of cars kind of already have standards in some cases, or definitely one of the options like BMW and Hyundai, like stuff like that. But expect a refresh, internal refresh for sure, from the Model S and Model X, and maybe if their technology or that they're putting in a semi truck and a Roadster is far enough, maybe even an upgrade in the battery, because that hasn't gone very far since they announced the 90 and then 100 kilowatt hour pack. So maybe that, but I don't know. They really looks like all eyes are on Model 3, Model Y, and even maybe pickup truck. All right, let's talk about Model Y and a pickup truck. Before that, of course, I want to make sure that this video and this channel is sponsored by XRAC. This is actually a pretty cool invention, is for cars like Model X that can't have the cargo space on top, right, because of the Falcon wings, and some people just don't want to put the cargo products on the roof of their car regardless. So this is essentially, X-Rack is a roof rack for your vehicle hitch. And it's pretty affordable. And even with that, they gave one of the best and most generous discounts to our community. It's in the description of this video. It also will get you free shipping. So go ahead and grab that, save yourselves a few bucks, and enjoy. As you can see, it looks pretty cool in pictures. All right, let's talk about Model Y and a pickup truck. It looks like Model Y will be unveiled this year. Elon, and I agree with him, is predicting that it's going to be even more popular than the Model 3. The expectation is that that base price is going to be 40,000, and of course probably going to be a year or two until they actually get there. But hopefully achieving the $35,000 price tag for the Model 3 will definitely help. The announcement is expected in March or sometime around that, and a lot of people are also saying that they might unveil a pickup truck or at least a prototype, because Rivian and other companies are kind of unveiling similar products or announcing they're going to come up with one. So hopefully staying in front, in front of a curve. Though I don't think they can beat Rivian. I think Rivian will beat them to market with a pretty amazing product, as you know. But the Model Y, I'm assuming they will also start taking reservations. I'm assuming they'll probably lose out a lot of Model 3 reservation holders to that, because people do prefer nowadays compact SUVs. But I think that queue is going to be pretty strong. I'm not going to be in a rush anymore, because obviously you're not being serviced in the order that you actually put yourself into, and then it looks like every time the first batch is not really well built. So I think I'm gonna hold on, but that's something that we should all expect. Let's talk about Tesla Superchargers. They have promised us they're going to be upgrading them to V3. They haven't. Now they're saying it's early of this year, but at some point this year, I expect they're actually going to get it done. I don't know what the kilowatt power they're going to have. I'm assuming at least 150. We also don't know what's going to happen with the existing ones, if they're going to be retrofitted, or this is just going to be, maybe new stalls that are building out, new locations. They've also fell short on a number of locations of superchargers, though I do have to say that, even this during holiday season, I didn't see any issues, even in the Bay Area with superchargers. So it looks like the number of them is actually not bad, but they're definitely behind on what they promised. The factory, we'll see if they're going to buy one of the GM factories. That would be probably a big deal. But my expectation is that they're going to get the Shanghai factory relatively in a good shape by the end of the year, where they'll at least be able to assemble some of the parts or finish up the assemblies for the Model 3 and get the maybe even Model Y going there at some point. And that is going to be a huge deal, because in China, and we don't know what's going to happen with the tariff war, obviously, that Trump is doing with China back and forth. But this is definitely going to be a huge deal for them. Autopilot, I've been very critical of it, but they have made some small but really cool strides in it. In the last year, I expect they will continue making some improvements. Isn't going to be amazing by the end of this year. I don't think it's going to be amazing, but it's definitely finally going to be an improvement. And I know a lot of people are really excited about it, and I think they might just kind of make another step forward and maybe beat some of their competition, which has been catching up and even passing them in that regard. Semi truck and a Roadster. I know it's been unveiled together, but I know they kind of due to maybe in production in 2020. I think maybe even 2021. I don't expect that much to happen this year with them. I think these projects are just kind of going to be slowly moving along. There's so many other things that Tesla's concentrating on. But nevertheless, at the end of this year, we'll be 1 year closer to seeing those sort of on the road and being sold, and I'm excited about it. Now, the big thing that I'm also excited about is the energy part of Tesla. Don't forget, Tesla bought a Solar City for a reason, and I think at one point the energy products will actually overtake in sales even the car products, because with a solar roof, with the solar panels, with the storage products like a Powerwall, it's a huge business, right? And I think they got the customer base already. It shouldn't be that hard to sell it to us. I myself would be a customer if they would actually start making them, but they have made big improvements in their Buffalo factory in New York. It looks like they are ramping up. I still haven't gotten my prize from my referral program, which was a Powerwall for now a year and a half. It looks like they're going to be ramping it up. And if they do, my goodness, they are going to, disrupt yet another industry of energy, and that might just be much bigger than the industry of automobiles. Now, lastly, let's talk about the big guy, the Elon Musk, right? The Elon Musk. I literally call him the Elon Musk. Uh, yeah, listen. I think he had a tough year. I think the stress had a lot to do with it. I think maybe even a learning curve of being a CEO of a much bigger company, not a startup that's public and then having a spotlight on it for real this time. I think he learned some lessons that, there are some rules and ways to act and even laws, believe it or not, to obey. I think he got off pretty easily with SEC, but I think that settlement is actually going to be beneficial for him and Tesla. Obviously, his Twitter account will have to calm down, and if it doesn't, obviously he'll be in more trouble. I think he's smart enough to know that, and I think he will. Settle down. I think there's going to be a year where hopefully he's going to be less stressed, more proud of what he's done, a little bit happier, pick a little bit less wars and a little bit more peace. And the amazing announcements and inventions that he kind of pushes to all of us. I think he's been pretty cool lately already. So I predict that he's going to be more predictable, more calm, and more exciting. And maybe even Elon Musk we used to know, love from back in the day, a few years ago. I really, I don't expect that and I don't even predict that, but I certainly hope that would be the case. By the way, let me give a quick shout out to one of my new Patreons, Michael Benson. Thank you so much for joining my Patreon community. As you guys know, I am a full-time YouTuber, independent YouTuber, and of course, contributing to my show helps a lot with that. And of course, there are a bunch of perks for you guys as well for my Patreon community, like watching me live. And so if you want to join, patreon.com/. E4Electric, and it's also in the description of this video. All right, let me know what you guys think. You agree, disagree, or maybe you have your own predictions or hopes and dreams for Tesla this year? Let me all know that in the comment section of this video. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.